Greetings, friends, and welcome to Good Afternoon with Spiritual Life. It is Wednesday, August 26th. Hard to believe in a way, isn't it? That's already the end of August. My name is Jennifer Allred, and I am one of your priests and chaplains here at Episcopal Homes. And it is always a pleasure to spend some time with you in these sessions when we get to reflect on a spiritual topic of some kind, a story, perhaps some kind of prayer or meditation, could be something artistic or poetic. There is a broad range of things that we do bring here to this time with you. And my two colleagues, Leah Welch and Phil Rose, are extremely talented and thoughtful in what they bring to this time as well. So you get quite a range and a diversity among the three of us. So what I've brought for us this afternoon is from a book that I love, from an author that I love, and his name is Brian Doyle, and he's a Catholic writer and thinker and also editor of a number of different magazines and publications. And the book is, I'm a little jealous that he thought of this title. I think it's just one of the best titles I've ever heard, and it's called One Long River of Song. So just a beautiful image and something I think that has many spiritual interpretations that are exciting to me. So it's a book of short stories and essays, and they range in topic from just about everything to just about everything. And he really, I think what I can say that they share in common, though, is his voice, his way of writing and of seeing the world. And he has, to me, just such a beautiful way of interpreting the sacred, of finding and making the holy in the everyday. And I just don't know another writer like him, and he's one of my favorites. And so without further ado, I will read you this very short story entitled Joey's Doll's Other Arm. Might be in Denmark for all I know, or Delaware perhaps, as my daughter surmises. It disappeared, evanesced, disarmed itself one morning, gathered all its armish energy, curled itself into a fleshy fist, and punched out of this earthly plane. All I know is that one day it was attached to Joey's doll's starboard side, and then the next day it wasn't. For a time it drifted around the house, looking eerily like a lost finger. Then it made its way out onto the lawn, where I saw a jay worrying one morning, a Steller's jay, the size of a robin on steroids. And then it just vanished. My wife thinks the jay took it, and that the arm now hangs out of a nest nearby, not unlike the teenage arms hanging lazily out of one of the battered, roaring cars that clatter and roar up my street. Arms that come to life and extend fingers at me when I roar at them from my porch. My daughter thinks that one of the foxes from the nearby fir forest took it, and that the arm is now mounted over the foxy fireplace as a sort of trophy. Liam, who is Joey's twin brother, 1 minute younger, doesn't think about the arm, or at least he doesn't talk about it. But Joey thinks about it all the time. He asks about it every morning when I lift him out of his crib. Arm? He says, holding up the doll to show me its gaping armpit. I don't know where the dolly's arm is, Joey. Dolly arm, owie. Damn right, Joey. Dolly sans extremity. Dolly a Democrat, no right wing. Owie. Yeah, owie. Maybe the arm is out on the grass. Want to go look? And off goes my oldest son at a gallop toward the glassy front door in search of the grassy arm of his beloved. To no avail. But I admire his persistence, his condensed breath in a circle on the glass of the door every morning, the unflagging, relentless drive of his love. And it is that ferocious affection of which I wish to speak this morning, only a few minutes after Joey galumphed out of the room, his sneakers hammering to the beat of his desire on the old oak floor. All my life I have thought about love, perhaps since I was Joey's age, and learning then, as he is now, to say, I love you, Mama. Yeah, foo-foo, Mama. His voice a clear, reedy, silvery flute. And then, through the thunderstorm of pubescent crushes and daydreams, and headlong into first serious loves, and then, luckily, by the grace of whatever gods you wish to summon to this sentence, married love, which I understand less by the year, and savor all the more. And then other rich, broad loves, my children, an island in the Atlantic, my dearest friends, woodland hawks and the flinty hip bone of the New England forest, the moist, matted nap of the Northwest woods, and also, waxing and waning, delightful and puzzling, a love for God, or God with a little g, or our spiritual nature, or whatever you want to call that occasional overpowering sense of a sense under and through things. Often I think we are afraid to speak frankly of God or gods because we cannot read that mind. Because so often religion is evil and greedy and bloody. Because faith is so quixotic and unreasonable. Because spirituality is a word as overloaded with connotation as a log truck, top heavy with the bones of trees. But because we sensibly fear a label does not mean we should not be afraid of the content. And I wonder, on this bright morning, if divine love is not unlike Joey's doll's other arm. Nearby, sensed, remembered, yearned for, searched for day after day after day, our breaths condensing on the glassy panes of this spectacularly inexplicable world as we look for it. I also think that this lush, troubled world, so ferociously lovely, so plundered and raped and endangered, is itself a seething river of divine love, in much the same way as Joey is. Like Joey, the ship of this world came to me from seas unknown. Both were made elsewhere and placed in my hands like squirming jewels, and my work and active prayer is to cherish them, to protect them, to try to hear in them Maker's music, to sing a little of that music myself. Love comes in so many guises, and a deep respect and affection for cedar trees or sockeye salmon is close cousin to a deep respect and affection for children and neighborhoods and wives. Love is a continuum. So a man who says he loves his wife and children is at the least blind and at the most evil if he votes to rape land, a very slow-moving creature, and kill creatures. He is, in a real sense, killing his own loved ones. He is killing himself. The truest words I ever heard about divine love were uttered once by a friend at a grace before a meal. He bowed his head in the guttering candlelight, steam rising from the food before him, the fingers of the cedar outside brushing the window, and said, "We are part of a mystery we do not understand, and we are grateful." Agreed. And now to join Joey in searching for it. The end. Well, friends, I hope you found something in that story to reflect on in your spiritual life and journey. I know that I really love how he makes a connection between, well, he starts with the micro, right? This doll's arm that's lost, this little tiny piece of a toy that's lost. And he goes on an exploration that encompasses his family life, his love for his children, his experience of God, and his deep belief that loving God and loving self and loving neighbor requires us to recognize the interconnectedness of all life and all things, whether that is the great body of the earth, or the bodies of the earth's creatures, or our own bodies and the bodies of our fellows. And to recognize that connection, that interconnectedness is at once complex and mysterious and at the same time undeniable and holy. So I hope you enjoyed the story today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, have a wonderful, peaceful evening.